Welcome back. My name is Ivica Cartello. You are watching React School for the Total Beginners, React Redux Add Amount from scratch. Open Visual Studio Code, terminal, new terminal, open folder where I save all my React application. Create a React application. Npx create React app 415. CD. Okay. Open folder 415. Open folder. Install Redux Toolkit. npm I install React Redux. Open this address. We will copy paste script from this repository. This address exists in descriptions also behind this video. Open folder src. Open up. Here is a store. Copy store. And here open src. Create app folder. In app folder create store.js. Ctrl-V, paste. Nothing new in this store as in example before. Here it is. src. Lecture counter. In lecture counter.js, copy. src folder features. In folder features create folder count. In folder count create file counter.js. And here paste. Counter slice.js, copy. Here in counter slice.js, paste, Ctrl-V. Now index.js, but we will go by order. App.js, copy. app.js, Control A, Control V, paste. App index.js, index.js, copy, index.js, Control A, Control V, paste, and I think it's all. Terminal, new terminal, npm start. I write here it is counter, but I write count, rename counter, and the application is here, add amount. Add amount. This example, this script, I have explained in video before of this one, and I forgot to say excellent cooperation between manipulation local variable and manipulation global variable. Excellent cooperation with hooks use state with Redux. With Redux with hooks use select. This cooperation is in counter.js. Counter is component. It is a combination JavaScript and JSX language. JSX language is in this return. And here you see it is excellent cooperation between a use state, hook, and use dispatch hook. Hook use selector take state from Redux, from store, and give it to component. But use dispatch take state from use state and give it to reducer in store. Here it is use state must when I write here 0 or for example 5, somebody must take it. It is here we see that, and it is in memory. Could take that in memory. It take set state. Hook set state have possibility to have component, have element, and by them take it in memory, and give and waiting that somebody click on add amount. After click add amount, that value, that local state 5 is a local state in our input box, and that local state coming here by help of use state. Use state is hook for function component that we don't need class component. And in that function component, set use state hook take care about state, local state in component. And here it is. 5 is local state this moment in input box. And when I click add amount, that number 5 take dispatch take in help of action creator take it value, take it payload. Action creator create type of action, it is counter add amount, and take payload. Payload it is 5, and dispatch take it action and bring it to store, concretely to reducer, input to reducer. And this is excellent example how local hook set use state cooperate with use selector. Here it is a script where use state, here is initial value, what we see when we refresh it, it is initial value, and use state hooks with initial value as parameter create declare this this array with two component, increment amount and set increment amount, because must be that process of change state must be immutable, and because of that we have set increment amount, it is component set state, must be set state, and after that we have increment amount, new increment amount in input box. Increment amount set increment amount, and value in input box is always string. Because of that we must create object increment value equal and instantiate same value increment amount, but as parameter of number, function number, what convert that string in number. In return section we have that when we click we see that on change activate event target value, and set state, we call that here set increment amount. Set increment amount create amount by on immutable kind, because of that on change equal this arrow function where set increment amount on immutable kind change value, and create new local state of that input box, value of that input box. Value of input box is increment amount. But on change we have changes of that increment amount, new increment amount, but on immutable kind. Because of that we need use state hook, and that value waiting in input box, increment amount, that we click on add amount button. There is on clock JavaScript event, and that on clock here is properties of button, and when on click happened, it is event. When we click on button, it is equal expression in curly brackets, because there is all in that curly brackets is because of that all here is declared in advance. Dispatch, increment by amount, increment value. Dispatch is a method of store, and parameter of method of store is increment by amount. Increment by amount is action creator. How we know that? Look at counter slice. Increment by amount, action creator. Action creator, increment by amount, would be create type of action. It is counter slash increment by amount, and would have payload, and here it is. Increment by amount is action creator with increment value. It is payload. It would be payload. It is value from input box. That value from input box would be payload of that action. And dispatch take it action to reducer, to input of reducer. And one input of reducer is action, and the action means action type and payload, and the other input is state. And from that two input, reducer create one output. It is a new state. That new state take use selector and give it to component as a new state. F12, no, here, not here, but copy this and paste here. F12 Redux. Here it is initial, but when there is state counter value 0, it is our state, but different, nothing, action. But look at now, when I click add amount, here is name of action type, counter slash increment by amount. Here is very clear type counter increment by amount, payload 2. When I click here 4, nothing happen here in dispatch, Redux, etc. But when I click add amount, here is payload 4. Payload 4 type counter increment. It is history. We see here payload 2, here is payload 4, etc. Action is defined by type of action, counter / increment by amount, and payload. Chart type payload, and 3 type payload. Look at from 2 go to 6, and action type payload. Thank you for watching this video.